It is Seahawks Today, and it is powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Appreciate you joining us. You have questions, you're in luck, because I have answers. Mailbag time on the channel. You may be wondering, how do I subscribe and take part of these mailbags? Well, we do live shows each and every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. And you can submit your questions live on the show in the chat using the hashtag Seahawks or Super Chatting to get on the mailbag. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/Seahawks TV. The GOAT, Mark Sanchez, with a $500 Super Chat. The new record here on Seahawks Today, the largest Super Chat ever sent in, says, a key to Seahawks win, just play football. There's no pressure on us. It's all the Niners, because if they lose, everyone will remind them and never let them forget. 3 boots and 5 shots, por favor. We did enjoy taking our drinks to celebrate the $500 Super Chat from Mark Sanchez. But I got to tell you, Mark makes a good point. All the pressure is on San Francisco in this game. It's not on Seattle here. And in the Seahawks case, what we're talking about in this matchup for them, for me, what I'm looking at is that the Seahawks have nothing to lose, okay? Nobody thought they would be at this point where they would have won 9 games and be in the postseason. Remember at the beginning of the year when Pete Carroll said he thought he had a 10-win football team, and everyone laughed at him and said, what are you talking about, Pete? 10 wins? Wasn't quite 10. It was 9, but still impressive. And so with that said, the Niners have been as hot as any team in the NFL this year. And what you hope for is that this Niners team has a little trepidation of some sorts, that they're in a situation where they're afraid to make mistakes of some sorts, where they play tight. If you're Seattle, play loose, have fun, go out there, play ball. Let's see them get the job done. Aiden writes, with the number 5 pick, do you see us going offense or defense? Depends on who's available, quite frankly. I think the priority for Seattle is defense. But when you have a pick like that at number 5, then I think that you're looking at who the best available is, the biggest impact player for that type of position. We still have plenty of time to talk about it over the next couple of months, but I would lean towards defense, but also just depends on who falls to them at that spot too. Still early in the process as far as that goes. Which side of the ball should Seattle use their first pick on? Offense or defense? Let us know in the comments section. Type offense or defense. What side of the ball should the Seahawks use their first pick in the draft on? Let me know in the comments section below which way you're feeling, offense or defense. Cash writes, hashtag Seahawks, is it any way possible, we might get Lamar Jackson? So a quick little recap, kind of how the week is gone. The Ravens just got a deal done with Roquan Smith. And basically what happens with that is the franchise tag is then freed up for the Ravens to use on Lamar Jackson. And so now the Ravens find themselves in a situation of either they are going to extend Lamar Jackson and keep him, or they're going to franchise tag him and trade him. And as far as bringing in Lamar Jackson goes, the compensation that it would cost you would be similar to what the Seahawks got in return for Russell Wilson in the trade last year. And then you have to pay him close to $50 million. So is it possible? I mean, I guess, sure, it might be possible, but the chances are very, very slim. I think that Seattle, when they decide to move on from Geno or their future, they're going to look towards a young quarterback and build from there. Remember, the way the Seahawks won a Super Bowl was with a Russell Wilson that was on his rookie contract and building around him and spending money elsewhere. So we'll see. I doubt it, but crazier things have been done before. Yasher, all right, next year will the defense be up and up? Obviously, Jamal has been injured. We get him back and spend a couple draft picks on the defense. Yeah, I think so. And you look at some of these guys that will continue to develop of some of your younger talented players, I think will come a long way for this Seahawks team, quite frankly. You know, Boye Mafe has shown some flashes. I think he's going to be terrific. Tariq Woolen and Kobe Bryant, those guys are only going to get better besides what else you potentially could draft. You know, we've talked a lot on this show about guys in this draft already. If you can get a Jalen Carter or a Will Anderson, you immediately become better as a defense. So, yes, the defense will get significantly better next year. Yu the Poke Kid. Good to see you, Yu. What will our record be next season? Still too early. I'm not going to answer that directly, Yu, but I think they will be improved upon what they are this year. A 9-8 season, a solid year in what was supposed to be a rebuilding year. I think next year you bring a lot of pieces back. You're only going to get better, and you'll have more young pieces coming in. There's no reason why the Seahawks should not be able to compete to win the NFC West and be one of those top 4 seeds potentially next year. Today's show is presented by BetUS, the exclusive sportsbook partner of Chat Sports. If you go to chatsports.com/bet, enter the promo code Seahawks125, you will get a 125% deposit bonus. You might be asking, well, what does that mean? Well, it's like if you bought a pizza and then you got an extra pizza and a couple extra slices for free. It's a great deal. Get your bets in now. You can bet on this weekend's NFL games, also college basketball, NBA, and more. Chatsports.com/bet. Still flying, writes in, Kenneth Walker III should 100% be Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think you have a very good point. And just kind of putting this into historical perspective of what Kenneth Walker III has done this year, think about this, folks. Kenneth Walker III in 2022 became just the second Seahawks running back to have a 1,000-yard rushing season in his rookie campaign. He was tied for second in the league in rushes of 20 yards or more and was the only rookie to do so. And not to mention, he filled a void when Rashad Penny got hurt. They didn't miss a beat in the run game. He was excellent. I told you in the offseason, I thought that eventually Kenneth Walker would work his way to be the Seahawks' number 1 running back, and he did just that. I love what I've seen from Kenneth Walker this year. There's a lot of guys that could make the case for Offensive Rookie of the Year, but Kenneth Walker III certainly deserves to be in the discussion. Denver wants to know, Geno Smith will outplay Purdy and prove he's legit. I sure hope so. Brock Purdy's played really good. I really liked Brock Purdy at Iowa State. I was shocked that he was the very last pick in the draft. I saw him in person a couple times, and I think he's a very good quarterback. And if the Niners make a decent playoff run, I think he's earned the right to be the starting quarterback next year and beat out Trey Lance. 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. But at the end of the day, we're talking playoff time, folks. Geno Smith's the veteran here. I know he hasn't played in playoff games previously, but there's no reason why that Geno Smith can't be the better quarterback. This is supposed to be the time when veterans rise to the occasion and the young guys struggle a bit. And Geno Smith, I would love to see Geno have a big day. And we'll see what he can do. Who's going to play better? Will it be Geno or Brock Purdy? I hope it's Geno, but I haven't been disappointed from what I've seen from Brock Purdy at this point either. If it's Geno who you think will play better, type GS for Geno Smith. If it's Brock Purdy, type BP for Brock Purdy. Let me know in the comment section. Gator wants to know, what do you think about our CB2 spot? That belongs to Kobe Bryant. I think next year anyway. I know this year we've seen Mike Jackson mostly maintain that role behind Tariq Woolen, but I think going into next year, you have a dynamic young duo in Tariq Woolen and Kobe Bryant. Look, Kobe Bryant's had a really good rookie year, but because Tariq Woolen has had an outstanding rookie year, it's kind of overshadowed what Kobe Bryant has done. But I think those two are going to be really good for a long time and should be fun to see what those two put together, and the future's bright for sure at that position. Tyson writes, do you think we will be able to pay everyone next year? We'll see. There's a ways to go and figure out the salary cap situation and everything that goes with that. But the Seahawks have a better salary cap deal than most teams do. You're paying DK a decent chunk of change in his new contract, and you're paying Uchenna Nwosu and Tyler Lockett and those guys. But of the important players, I think Seattle is fine in being able to keep around the guys that matter. The great Mark Sanchez checks back in. Do you trade some of our draft capital to get D-Hop or Cam Jordan or another defensive star? Potentially. That's the thing that when you're Seattle and you're in this situation of what they bring to the table of 4 picks in the first 2 rounds is that you have flexibility. D-Hop would be your number 3 receiver. I don't think that's a priority, and I don't know if Arizona is going to want to trade within the division. But Cam Jordan, watch out. Cam Jordan would be a huge impact player on this Seahawks team, potentially speaking. So I don't know directly if you do or not, but you have the flexibility to do so potentially when that time comes. Dr. Jack writes, y'all ain't beating the 49ers. Boo this man. Boo. Boo. Type boo in the comments. Type boo in the chat towards Dr. Jack. Look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Seahawks are going to have to play a perfect game if they're going to beat San Francisco. You're going to have to run the football well. The defense is going to have to force turnovers. You do those things, you're right there in it. And Geno Smith is going to have to move the football down the field. The Seahawks can win, but everything has to go right. Who do you got? San Francisco or Seattle? If you're going with the Niners and you're a hater, type 4-9 for the 49ers. If you're going with the Seahawks, 12s, I need you to stand up, get loud and proud. Type C for Seattle. Let me know in the comments section. Who do you got, 49ers or Seahawks? And make sure to join us coming up this Saturday. Seahawks and Niners watch party live here on Seahawks Today. It's going to be a dandy, folks. We are going to get going about an hour before kickoff, and then we'll be with you throughout the game. We'll have a few drinks in hand. We'll do our live post-game show as well. Jeffrey Cooperstein is going to be here with me. You will not want to miss out on our Seahawks-Niners watch party. It's playoffs. We're talking playoffs, baby. Be here or be square. A couple more for you. Alex writes, will Tariq be shadowing Debo this weekend? I think so. I think for the most part you're going to see him on Debo. What I do wonder is what do you do about George Kittle? Could we see some packages potentially where Tariq moves over to cover George Kittle? As much of a problem as Debo is, I think George Kittle's a bigger problem. And now that you don't have Jordan Brooks, I really worry about who is going to be on George Kittle potentially. To me, that's a bigger issue to deal with than Debo Samuel. Gina writes, Seahawks making the playoffs should make Carroll Coach of the Year. I see where you're coming from, and you make a good case. But the Coach of the Year in the National Football League is Nick Sirianni of the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles were incredible this year. They took a huge step up. Jalen Hurts looked like an MVP caliber quarterback. Carroll did a hell of a job, no question about it. I think John Schneider has a good chance to be Executive of the Year, but I think the Coach of the Year is probably going to go to Sirianni. Ryan says, what is our biggest weakness next week, as in this playoff game? It's to stop the run. We did a whole video on this actually a couple days ago about the concerns about Seattle going into the postseason. And the biggest thing I pointed to, how is this Seahawks team going to defend the rushing attack? Christian McCaffrey's injury status is still up in the air. I believe he's going to play, though. But to me, how is Seattle going to stop the run? Something they've struggled with all year. You can follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Tyler Jones Live. It is a huge week here on the channel. Don't miss anything. Be here. You will not want to miss a thing. And follow me on the socials. We'll see you next time here on Seahawks Today.